There's a moment where your brain stops thinking about healing and starts thinking about survival. Not logical survival, emotional survival. And survival mode usually sounds like I need to remind them that I'm here. I need to show them what they've lost. I need to do something before it's too late. And if that's where you are right now, we need to slow things down. Because today, we're not talking about what to do. We're talking about what not to do, which is just as important. Hello, I'm Coach Adrian, breakup and reconciliation coach, and welcome back to the mini-series, If There's a New Person. Episode 1 was about rebound versus real relationship. Today is about something that's even more important, protecting your emotional positioning when there is someone new involved. Because many times, it's what you do that actually leads to a setback. And we need to stop digging in order to maximize our chances of reaching a desired outcome and making sure that we grow along the way. So let's go back to Jake. 3 days after seeing the photo, Jake made a decision. He texted Maya. Not aggressively, not angrily, but really emotionally. And he said, I just want you to know I still care about you and I miss what we had. It sounds loving, it sounds vulnerable, but Maya felt pressure, guilt, emotional responsibility, and that is not attractive. Because when someone feels that they're your emotional stability and that they're responsible for your well-being, they shut down, they move away, they run away. Not necessarily because they don't care, even though people tend to be a lot more self-centered after a breakup, but because attraction and emotional responsibility don't coexist well. They are attracted to something that is new, that is fresh, that is clean, that is uplifting. And if you come with energies that are desperate, old, and that weigh heavily, well, they're gonna run the other way. And this is the first thing that people do that actually backfires. They try to remind their ex of the bond that they shared, sending positive memory text, inside jokes, old photos, links to Spotify shared playlists, long emotional reflections about what could have happened or what can happen. And this feels like connection to you. You're just expressing your love, but unfortunately, not to your significant other. It just pushes them away. They run away from this type of messages. The second mistake that people do is that they try to compete with the new person. You start to size them up. And often you subtly send social media posts. You kind of are posting just to try to get a reaction, to try to show your value. But unfortunately, real attraction is not built through comparison. It is built through an emotional experience that you're able to convey to someone else. And comparison energy feels desperate, feels manipulative, and it's unstable to your significant other. The third mistake is trying to expose the new relationship. Perhaps you point out red flags, warning signs, or you see things that indicate that this new person is not the right fit for them, and so you're trying to share that, sometimes out of care and consideration with the person that you love. The problem is that even if you're correct, even if your analysis is spot on, it will create defensiveness. Your ex will tell you it's no longer your problem. They want to make decisions for themselves. They don't want you telling them what to do, and they just want you to back off. And if those guards come up, if your ex feels defensive, it will push her deeper into this new relationship, not closer to you. Again, even if your intentions are good, and even if what you're saying makes sense. And here's the hardest one. Breaking emotional silence because you feel forgotten. Silence does not mean replacement. Silence often means emotional softening, actually. I was just coaching this lady in Canada, in Vancouver, who really did a lot of work on herself to not reach out, even though every fiber in her body wanted to reach out. But she knew she had to break the pattern. She knew that reaching out was not going to help her. And so I was there with her. communicating over WhatsApp every other day, reminding her of the process, telling her that she's growing, that she's doing, that she's really evolving very, very quickly, and thus rebuilding attraction and laying the foundation for a new and improved relationship. But then her ex blocked her on Instagram. And that was the straw that broke the camel's back. And she started to reach out because she was afraid of being forgotten, of being replaced. And when she did reach out, what he told her was, I was blocking you because I kept checking your profile because this was becoming too difficult. I didn't understand why you weren't reaching out. So you see, things aren't always what they appear. And if you have a very, very strong urge right now to reach out emotionally or to show your value, or if you're constantly checking their social media, I need you to pause and to think about why. Why? Where is this coming from? And what is the next step? What is the right action for you to take? Because gaining clarity is a way of keeping yourself accountable. So going back to Jake, what did Jake almost do next? He almost sent a message, just like this friend that I just was talking to you about. And that's precisely where a lot of the emotional damage happens. It's not the first reaction, the second reaction. Because the second reaction comes from a place of fear, of losing control. And emotional strength is not about winning attention, it's about learning to remove pressure. Because the more you remove pressure, the more you create emotional curiosity. And emotional curiosity is where reconnection, healthy reconnection, potentially begins. And oftentimes people need structure, they need support, because just like my dear friend in Vancouver, it is hard to go through this process alone. Not to win, but to stabilize your emotions in order to create a new dynamic. And if you feel like you need support, please take advantage of my free discovery session with my team to figure out what the right coaching package could be for you if you're prepared to make that investment, if you feel like it is needed and necessary and something that would be helpful to make sure that you don't feel all alone walking this path. It would be our pleasure to support you. Now, most people are able to make significant and rapid progress not because of external situations and what happens between your ex and this new person, but because of a shift in internal experience. And the next challenge for you is precisely that. How do I stay grounded when I see them together, when I get triggered? And that's what we're going to explore in episode 3, learning to focus on you, not on what happens externally, and what to do when you see them together, whether that's on social media or, God forbid, in person. Because I want you to be able to learn to not be triggered. And that is a superpower that most people don't learn in this process. Again, you're not behind schedule. You're going through one of the most challenging emotional experiences a human can experience, actually. And the fact that you're right here learning instead of reacting says a lot about you and your commitment to yourself and to this process. And I salute that. And that's why I'm going to continue to give you my best through this mini-series. And I look forward to learning together what to do to not get triggered by them and their love and what they're projecting to the world in episode 3 of this mini-series. I look forward to it. Let's continue to fight the good fight together.